Whenever you use it, you're invulnerable, you'll deal damage, and you can teleport as much as you want during the duration. I also want to talk about the chill mechanic in Diablo 4. Whenever the sorceress uses cold magic to attack enemies, she applies chill to the target's hit, making their movement speed slower and slower. And if you apply enough chill, the enemies get frozen completely. So let's check it out in this video. It should be coming up soon. She will be using her Frost, Bolt, and Blizzard skills to chill and then freeze the enemy, as you can see. When you use your Earth or Storm spells, you instantly transform back into the Druid form. So one of the reasons why I think this is so cool is because you can tie specific mechanics to the moment you transform. So for example, one of the talents, it says something like, whenever you shapeshift into a werebear form, you gain damage reduction for a few seconds. So not only can you pick the specific bonuses that you want, you also control the exact timing when you activate these bonuses. So you have that full control, and that's what I think is so cool about the rapid shapeshifting.
Your campaign moments in the overworld are now going to be shared with a bunch of random people. But campaign areas will also start as private, meaning accessible only to you and your party, until you've completed the campaign objective for that location. And it's only after that point that it becomes shared like the rest of the open world. So when we talk about shared open worlds, we mean you'll see players outside your party, and you'll see different types of open world activities. Activities like the public events that we showcased in the demo, ranging anywhere from the more common drowned or attacking the coastline, all the way up to a huge pestilence demon is clawing its way out of a farm. The overworld would have things like collectibles, lore books, caches, materials for crafting, as well as dedicated spaces carved
places in the world. Even the holiest of places can fall to corruption, like the Zakaru Monastery behind me. Now, since they are randomly generated, that means until you venture down that dark corridor, you're not really sure what you're going to find. Could be treasure, could be death. And this is that tension between risk and reward that really defines that dungeon crawling experience in Diablo 4, where anything can happen. And also, dungeons are not always random building, or just like randomly generated buildings. They're randomized exterior environments as well. These exterior dungeons are randomly generated just like the interiors are. So we can have, like, Whispering Woods here behind me as an example. We want dungeons to feel like real, explorable places in the world. So we've also built our dungeon system from the ground up with this idea that we call seamless exploration. So what seamless exploration means is no more loading screens to go down to the second floor. Third floor, 10th floor, whatever, any other area. Yeah. It all happens seamlessly in the game. And with seamless exploration, we can even blend these randomly generated tile sets together. You can go from a randomly generated cave and walk straight into a randomly generated forest. Major change compared to the past game is they are no longer restricted to a specific place in the world. This is one of our new events, the Altar of Bishi. Any Bishi fans out there? I'm not sure. Yeah. So this event can also show up in the Whispering Woods. It's in Garen Hold in the demo. You can totally find it. You got a good chance of finding it. And this allows dungeons to actually have a much broader range of possible events. Every time you play, you can actually find a different kind of event in it. And those events can actually follow monsters around, just like elites can, and makes it way more broad range of things to do. So we have random dungeons, and we have random events. But for us, it's also really important that dungeons have this sense of identity. They have something that helps set them all apart from each other. So the other thing also increases the danger and the rewards found inside that dungeon. So as an example, this is Domhain Tunnels, playable in the demo today. The objective here is to slay all enemies. We've seen that before. But in Domhain, as you make progress in that effort, the enemy responds. They send powerful elites to hunt you down and kill you no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing in that dungeon. Yes, even during a random event. Yes, even during a boss fight. And since every dungeon has its own custom objective, we can have varied gameplay across dungeons as a whole, and memorable dungeons with a strong underlying identity. Now, we're still exploring multiple other dungeon systems and features, but we do have one more thing to talk about today. Let's talk about...
One of these is the new evade ability. Every class can do a short distance dash that gets you immediately out of danger and allows you to strike back very quickly and get back in the action. It's perfect for getting out of something like this bone storm. Also, many class skills in Diablo 4 grant the unstoppable status. This status allows you to break out of any control-impairing effects. So if you're stunned, blinded, slowed, you can break out of it and grant immunity for the duration of the effect. In the case of our barbarian friend, who just doesn't want to deal with this bone storm anymore, he can rallying cry, becoming unstoppable and granting his allies unstoppable as well, and immediately dish out more pain onto the Tomb Lord. Now,
so this is teleport. As you can see, pretty straightforward. You teleport to the target location, like you just saw. Say you are struggling on the defense, then you can pick something like this up. Every time I teleport, I gain damage barrier. And this one, whenever I teleport, I create this rift on the ground. Whenever I stand in it, I gain increased critical strike chance. This next one, I can use teleport as much as I want now. It has no cooldown, but it's random, and I need mana to use it. And this last one, I can cast damaging lightning nova whenever I teleport. So let's check that out. So pretty straightforward. Let's try to equip the one that lets me teleport as much as I want. And now I've kind of turned my mobility skill into a damaging skill at the cost of it being a little bit random. And I just want to stress once more that not all legendaries will work so specific to one skill. Straightforward. As you level up, you'll be gaining one or more skill points for you to spend, and you can use it in two ways. First is unlocking brand new skills that you didn't have access to before. And second is ranking up existing skills to make them more powerful and unlock new choices within that same skill. Another way you can get skill points in the game is to find the skill point tome items, and then you can use those items to have access to more skill points. For the talent tree, this is an example of the sorceress's talent tree. Each tree is unique to that class, so this is just one example of one of the classes. So you work your way from top to bottom, making yourself more powerful as you go down the tree. And not only that, you will be able to make very specific playstyle choices to your liking, so you'll have that full customization option. And of course, at the bottom of the tree are the strongest talents in the game. This is one of 6 that the sorceress can choose from. And it's a fairly simple one, but we have a lot of choices ranging from simple